they believe it's all going to work. And if they've never actually had the tactical component, they watch that shit and they think they can actually do it and they think it'll work in real life.
And so you end up reeling people back in and telling them, actually, you just got shot 5 times doing that.
Yeah. Or we'll look at it and go, right now you're playing paintball. You can't play paintball.
Shit.
Like you have to play it like it's the most dangerous game in the world.
Folks, I am Dr. Mike Israetel for RP Strength. I have a PhD in sport physiology. I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. It's the poop-colored one. And so I know a little bit about fighting, but today we are going to review combat movie scenes. Combat being a very loose term for some of the things we're going to see. And since I have almost no idea about anything combat related that is this far and further away from my body, I brought in my good friend DJ Shipley, who's a retired, several decades long U.S. Navy SEAL, I suppose?
17 years.
17 years.
Yeah, close to 2 decades.
So it's arguable you could have learned a thing or two about combat of various sorts while you were involved with that charitable organization?
Just a smidge, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Are you ready to watch some amazing Hollywood movies about how real combat works and finally learn something for once?
I can't wait, dude.
Excellent.
I'm in full student mode.
Yes,
ready to
Buds was
upload
fun.
information.
This is the real shit now.
For sure.
Let's
I'm
get
looking
it.
forward to it.
All right. All right. Right away. Is that how you typically enter an elevator in a combat situation?
I've personally never had to enter an elevator, but seeing as how he has a gun in his hand, I don't know why he just doesn't shoot them. Why you would close the distance on 3 people who have arms and hands and can grab a hold of you.
And they have their own sidearms.
Yeah. Angles and distance, baby. Stay outside of that threshold and smoke them all from there. Don't make entry, actually.
Solid.
I'm actually really glad he dropped that rifle and actually went to his hand. You'd be surprised how many people just hang onto that thing and get the shit pounded on them. You do like a Red Man scenario. Put on the Red Man suit and we'll bring in MMA fighters and they will just tune you up, dude. Fuck. If you don't let go of that gun and start slinging for them. And that's where the training artificiality comes in, because if that would really to happen, you just shoot them all.
Yes.
Right? For this, they want you to burn through all the reps. Worst case scenario, now I've lost my gun, now I've transitioned, now we're just elbows, headbutts, punching, kicking, whatever you have to do to get through it. So it's nice to actually see him in that close proximity. And we use the analogy fighting in an elevator or fighting in a phone booth.
Yes.
Can't get to a carbine. I can't deploy this thing, drop that thing, hands and elbows.
And you have it on a sling, so you drop it, it doesn't just leave.
Yeah, but even there,
Right.
depending on how you have that sling, if they have a hold of that gun, now it's tied to you in 2 points. Now they're just slinging you around like a
Yeah,
rag
that
doll.
sucks. Oh, he's about to get tased.
Oh, good for you.
Have you been tased before?
I have been tased.
How does it feel?
Not as bad as you think.
No way.
Yeah.
Anything to the genital area that you can say is like pretty nice kind of residuals?
No.
Mm,
No.
it
Not
was
like
worth
that.
a shot asking.
Cattle prod's worse.
To the genitals or in general?
Just in general. Cattle prod will shut you down.
Well, because the cattle prod's designed for cattle, which is a little bigger than human by a factor of 10, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not
fancy.
really doing that in real life.
No. So that throw was way too fancy.
Yeah.
That's a
Judo
lot of
throws in
stuff.
real life are nice in theory, but
Yeah.
with human beings with kid on and
Yeah. There's a couple simple foot sweeps and hip tosses you can do in judo. The rest of the shit, lapel work and everything, that's going
Yeah.
down the drain. Okay.
I'm surprised he didn't use more environmentals.
Yeah.
The handrails, trying to find
Yeah.
sharp objects, steering people's heads into them. You try to open them up high in the face, the blood gets in their eyes. They lose all sense of urgency to fight as soon as they see blood. So if you can get a strike in the upper eye area and the forehead, it bleeds a whole lot. Usually people, they tend to back off. Unless you're a professional fighter and that's what you're used to, like a Nate Diaz who just gets
Yeah, but
pounded.
you're not fighting 3 Nate Diaz in an elevator.
God, I
you
fucking
could
hope
be.
not.
You'd be losing really soon.
Yeah, you'd be losing quick.
All right, that scene right there. What do you think, Punisher?
10 being realistic,
Yeah,
let's give it a 5.
5.
A 5 because if those guys are deploying pistols, you're actually trying to beat the hell out of these guys. Why aren't you just shooting and being done with it?
Yeah.
If
If
I
they
open
pulled
up
out
an elevator-
pistols, they want to shoot you.
Yeah.
That means you stay outside the elevator and pump rounds in a semicircle.
That whole thing will be over in 6 seconds.
Oh, the great John Wick.
With the karambit?
Now, DJ, you careful how you critique Mr. John Wick here.
Hey, man. I'm a huge John Wick fan.
Okay, so I'll take one real quick. You do not turn back away from a person who isn't even incapacitated. He just fell down. You want to finish that person, whatever it is you had planned for them at the finale of the fight, that's going to have to happen right there and then. Otherwise, as soon as you turn around, you have someone on your back, and now you're busy with the guy in front. Is there a Navy SEAL take on that that's different?
Alligator close to the boat. You've already got him on his back. You're already in a modified side control. I'm with you. Finish him and keep eyes on the second guy.
Yeah.
Put him down completely. Deal with him.
But it's so bad for the movies.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he's fighting in dress shoes.
That's true.
And he's fighting guys with multiple karambits. Like, that is just such a vicious blade. And it's in such close proximity.
Somebody's getting their ass cut.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Like, those blades are so nasty.
Oh.
Especially if you extend them out, like full extended claw. They have such a good range to them, and they hook you. It's like a raptor claw. So when those things hit you, they tear you.
They also seem to be, in these John Wick movies, getting stabbed a whole shitload and then still fighting. From what I understand, please correct me if I'm wrong on this, the effects of stabbing are really wide-ranging. All the way from some kinds of stab wounds, you could be like later back at the compound, you're like, oh my God, I got stabbed 30 times and actually be fine. All the way from one stab, it's a fast bleeder or whatever, and 5 seconds later, everything fades to black and you're down. Is that how it works?
Yeah, timers and switches. You have some where you hit them, 10-second countdown. You get others where you can take 30 stabs and get sewn back up.
Still coming at you and shit.
Exactly. If it bends and you cut it, it tends to stop working. So even if it's a cut to the fingers, now your fingers don't work, you cut the tendons, that whole hand's basically useless at that point. Same thing, crook of the arm, the wrist, anything like that. If it moves and you cut it, it tends to stop working.
And that's bad because then they can't at least aggress at you in the same dynamism they did before.
Exactly. Oh, that is so... Just to leave that dude at your feet while he's got a karambit in his hand.
What could he do? He could stab your nuts, but I guess that's terrible.
He's just waiting for the knife to come up.
That was just a slap. He's like, no.
Feed it to me. Feed it to me.
Bad.
In the business, we call this suboptimal.
But see, that guy is just like, while Keanu is fighting the upper guy, the guy in bottom is doing something with Keanu's leg, but even though he has a knife in one hand, it's not stabbing it. He's like wrestling with it somehow.
Yeah.
It's just basically when the Hollywood camera is not pointed at a guy, he like is an NPC, non-playable character in a video game. It just kind of fades away. And you're like, don't worry about that guy for a while. Just watch this.
Just watch this. Just watch this. Just watch this.
The RP Hypertrophy app has dozens of pre-made workout templates to help you build a plan faster than any other training software allows. But you can customize each plan exactly to your needs by prioritizing and deprioritizing any muscles you like to train, choosing the exact exercises you'd like to use, and customizing the volumes you employ at every single step of the process. If you're looking to bring up lagging muscle groups, look no further than the RP Hypertrophy app. Click on the link in the description of this video to get started.
Dude, if he'd hook him high in the thigh, inside that femoral artery, one nick of that thing, dishes are done, dude.
That's 10 seconds.
Especially like your blood's pumping, his heart rate's probably at 180 right now.
Yeah.
Dishes are over really, really fast, dude. Same thing, brachial artery, you hit that thing, it's over.
Yeah. So inside of leg, inside of arm, bad news.
Yeah, dude. Ooh, the hand switch.
He got it.
That seems like a lot of energy expenditure for not a whole lot of gain right there.
Yes.
Like now you're just tired of shit. Now you're still fighting the same two dudes, the same two blades.
Yes. Nothing really happened, but you fought for 30 seconds. Yeah. No ground was made.
The physical taxation cannot be ignored. I mean,
everyone's tired.
Exactly. You've been grappling at a high level.
Sure.
It's no different.
Sure.
Rolling matches over and
Yeah.
over.
That's one thing I tend to notice about Hollywood is the fighting. The Matrix was the worst movie ever about that because there were hardly even any punches. It was just kind of slaps.
Yeah.
No one's taking any damage and the fights could last forever, it looks like.
Did you ever do Who Buds?
No, what's that?
It's like a Seat Kali. It's like an energy transfer drill, but a parry, a slap, a counter punch. That's essentially all the Matrix is. They're just parrying counters, parrying counters the entire time.
And it looks fucking sweet.
You see like Wing Chun, shit like that?
Yes, absolutely.
It's the same thing.
Absolutely. And the problem with that is that real engagements generally tend to last much less time and have a big chasm between exchanges that lead to almost nothing, but they don't land super competently and super well. It's just two guys who have no fucking clue what they're doing, and they're doing this, not a lot happens. And then you'll have a few things like a properly landed kick or a punch or a choke sunk in or a stab. And then the whole fight is basically just off the hill over within 10 seconds. These massive exchanges where guys take tons of damage and go back and they're like, in the street, typically don't see that.
No.
Same in your experience, I guess?
Yeah, same.
I want to believe.
So do I.
Yeah.
So do I. And then you watch it, MMA guys get into a street fight, and it's the exact same thing.
You're like, oh, that did not take very long.
No, it's over in 7 seconds. Imagine that.
Huh. It's John Wick.
It's John Wick, so he's naturally elevated up. I'd give that, with his ability to not get stabbed and countering all of those karambits, I'd give him a 6.
That's a 6 out of 10 easy.
Yeah, 6 out of 10. Oh, here we go.
Okay, so this looks realistic-y. Scott, what is this?
Except for that stupid-ass carry he's got on. That is the extraction, right, Scott?
Okay, tell us about the carry. What's wrong with that?
I don't know what that giant pouch is on his back or how he thinks he's going to get to it unless he takes off his entire carrier. It looks like something that you dropped off in front of a bunch of 13-year-old airsofters and you just put pouches on. Wherever you want to, just put them on.
That's the level I operate at. I always thought pouches were just cosmetic shit that cool guys did because they're Commando with Arnold. They saw it too many times. But this is what you guys do at GBRS is proper kit.
Proper kit, proper placement, being able to access all your tools, put them in a logical manner so it's not impeding, your draw stroke. You'll see guys overload pouches on one side. Now they can't get to their pistol. Yeah. Can't get to their magazines, anything else.
So this ain't it.
Bro, that ain't it.
Bad start.
Yeah, that's garbage. Actually not bad for immediately jumping on the other side of the beam to take up the angle. He's got the hallway straight in front of him, which you don't want to lose your eyes on, but that uncleared space where that second guy's popping out is exactly what you want to do. You want to clear the uncleared space, then make movement down the hallway. So that's actually not bad.
All right, Scott, we got one.
No, that him ducking right there, I would say, we talk about trained response and untrained response and adding the human element into it. You're a husband, your father of 2, white picket fence, the entire thing. You have a natural tendency for self-preservation to take over, which isn't a bad thing. A lot of times it's what keeps you alive, and that's exactly what that looks like. Bullet comes past your head, a natural duck, and then a re-engagement.
Now, is there a technical critique you can levy against ducking? I mean, you lose sight on enemy, right?
You do, but because he's in his own shoes right now and I'm not, I can't see the actual angles that are coming out of his eyes and what he's being exposed to.
Sure.
But for me, that saved me a bunch of times.
Damn, okay.
Natural human reaction. Ooh. Oh. Good for him not shooting in the face, shooting just above the plates in the throat on a downward angle.
Is that realistic?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Damn, holy fuck. There's people that can do shit like this in real life?
There are several stories of guys in close proximity. I know a guy that was on the Army side, our counterparts, had a dude jump out of a closet and grab him by the back of the neck with a pistol. And it went click instead of bang, and his number 2 had to jump over, basically prying down arms and shoved it right in between his collarbone and shot him. Oh, yeah, you obviously don't want to close the distance that much if you can use angles and distance, but for that, he had to turn that blind corner. Right now, he's just exposed to the hallway on his right side.
And that's real bad news.
Yeah, you're really trying to cover down as much of the threats as humanly possible, but you got to deal with the alligator close to the boat. You got to close these 2 guys out and get back on target.
Yes. And then another reason why teams of combatants work better than one guy is teams could cover a lot of corners for you at the same time.
Exactly.
One guy in against 20 is just real bad odds no matter how well trained he is.
It is, especially when you understand the actual threat. Every step you take, now you're exposed to different angles that you potentially couldn't cover from back here, and now you're exposed to them. If you don't have a team to pick those up, you're really just exposed to thousands of angles.
Yes.
From all the open doors, open spaces, little nooks and crannies where people can potentially hide. Every step you take, more exposure. And
a guy under the bed with a fucking AK sighted on you can get the drop on you. It doesn't matter who you are.
Exactly. Doesn't matter what beret or what badge you have on.
Yeah.
Threat's a threat.
Yeah.
Shot him in the plates. Don't know why. There you go. Yes. That is okay. That was exactly right.
Damn.
You get a stoppage. We train that all the time. One-handed manipulation, racking off people's necks, racking off people's orbitals. I mean, yeah, the entire thing.
Holy
Close combatos. Did you see that when the guy's barrel telegraphed out?
Yeah.
Before he got to him?
Yeah.
That's one of the things we talk about. Not overexposing yourself, not sticking your barrel out there to telegraph that you're about to make that corner. And that's exactly what happens. They reach out, they grab that barrel. Now it's tied you in 2 points. Just imagine how strong you are. If I have a gun attached to me, you grab it by the suppressor and rip me.
Sure.
I'm coming right off my feet.
Sure.
It doesn't matter how big and strong you are.
Sure.
They do like Jared. Could just spin you around this room. I can't. There's no quick disconnect. I can't get rid of that thing.
Right.
I either let go of that, I pull him into me, and then I start beating the brakes off of him.
Sure.
Hopefully. But if not, you're really at a shitty situation right there.
So that guy had it coming.
For sure.
And so you would typically advise a gentleman like that, if he's trying to corner, would you want to see him back up and give as much angle to that corner as possible? See, when you're cornering, it's like a race car. You go to the other side first.
Taking the apex, taking a long way home. Much angle distance that I can.
Because you want as much sight picture as possible.
Yeah, and I'd much rather get in a 10-foot gunfight than I would a 2-foot gunfight.
Right.
It's very hard to miss at 2 feet. At 10 feet, very different.
Yes.
Dude, I mean, shitty kit. A couple angles could have been picked up better as far as weapons manipulation, everything else, shot placement, shot sequences. I didn't see a reload in there. I don't know if that happened.
He lost a couple of sidearms, though. I think he went through a few of them.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got multiple on him or whatever else. But I mean, I'd say it's probably 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Chris Hemsworth.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, kit placement could have been better for sure, but I thought some of the unconventional manipulations were nice to see. And you can tell he's definitely trained with somebody of a high level.
Who knows things.
For sure. I mean, normal people beatboxing around on, airsoft, they don't know. They don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
They don't know the pressure to actually be able to rack a slide off somebody where you have to shoot them at a downward angle. That all
Sure.
Stuff. Pretty cool to see.
All right. All right, Scott, we got one.
Oh, bro.
Okay, so that is the way you shoot any kind of weapon, is from the hip, correct? There's some kind of, because your hip is kind of your athletic core, I imagine, your best balance and accuracy will be shooting from the hip. Correct me.
If you have 21-inch arms, then yes, it directly correlates to accuracy from the hip. I'll actually show you a video of us shooting plates out at 100 from the hip.
How'd it work?
Good. I mean, you got to have your natural point aim. You watch Taron Butler do it. He shoot a 6-plate rack in under 2 seconds from the hip. Ting, ting, ting.
World class.
Yeah, I mean, he's a freak.
That's not what you would call best practices for shooting.
No, but I mean, running out in the middle of a courtyard without clearing your corners, especially from an elevated position, probably not your best practice. Also, hanging grenades from the pins on whatever that weird carrier is.
One
probably
tree
not,
branch away from.
Exactly. Probably not best practices. But
all right, we got a lot of criticisms right up front, Scott. That was painful.
I would have never suspected.
Bullshit. This is how I do it. Is that typical for people when they get shot to put their hands up, turn around, and summarily fall to their deaths like that?
I've never personally seen anything like that. But I mean, you're watching in real time right here. I mean, this thing was filmed on a GoPro back in the day. I mean, this is live. I mean,
in Honduras or whatever.
Well, like back in the 80s, like they didn't need stunt doubles. They just really shot people. So
yeah, it was just good camera placement. Shot placement. I'm talking about camera placement.
yeah, good for him.
All right, folks, there's still more video to come, but if you want to see the raw, extended, unedited, technically edited, but minimally video, we have a member section. We've got tons of other cool videos there. Check that out. Give it a click. And all right, back to the video. Ooh, this is nice. All right.
This is one of the things that kind of plagues me. You see, 9 dudes right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 dudes. 9 dudes right now in the open. For him to run across that field and close the distance just is not the best practice for you.
Insanity.
You're in behind these bushes, inside a little bit of concealment. Just dump these dudes from a shoulder-fired position and put them down and then close.
And then close. But
let's see what he does.
Maybe he'll do that.
Oh, from the hip, baby.
If you're one of the guys on the roof, what is the marginal utility of continuing to progress on the roof versus hunkering down and getting some accurate shots off on target? I mean, he's got a muzzle flash. You can see where he is.
Yeah. I mean, typically you just make a lateral movement. There's no reason to crest, call it the military crest. There's no reason to go on the back.
Exposed on the roof than I am now.
It's not really buying you anything. Good shot placement. And this magazine doesn't end, which is always a benefit.
It's good to have 180 rounds per mag, even though it looks like a 45 banana clip. No big deal.
Yeah.
There's those grenades.
Dude.
Okay. Can you explain to me, DJ, now I'm not so familiar with live combat, you're very familiar. How does a grenade that expands outward when it hits the ground cause only vertical forces to occur and launches the guys straight up instead of out? Go.
It doesn't.
Right.
It blows out at a V. So typically that'll just be all the frag that'll come up at a 45 and they'll lay over to their sides. If you step right on top of it, it'll blow you up a little bit, but it won't lift you in the air like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks fun.
It looks super cool.
Is combat really this much fun?
It can be. The only one thing I'll say bad about this is if you've never done this for real, when you start training with training grenades and stuff like that, this is what you anticipate because you've never done it. And when you see how little they actually do, it's kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
Because people think of a grenade and you're like, oh, this is my end all be all. Like,
it'll blow up a whole house.
I've thrown quite a few grenades in my career and limited success almost every single time.
That sucks.
You really got to be good at placement.
Yeah.
That's where playing pool comes in. Bounce them off walls, be able to drop them in, understand stuff like that. Yeah.
Careful, DJ. You are an American hero for real, but there are levels above this.
I'm trying to take out the fact that he is my hero.
How could you please integrate two ratings? One because he's Arnold, and then one if it was just some dude.
If it was just some dude, I'd give it a 4 because it's Arnold. Taking out the kit misplacement and the grenades and all of that, I'll give him a 7 on intensity in driving towards the enemy, and just the overall fact that he's motivated millions of people to join the military.
DJ, you did a lot of combat tours. You've trained a lot, and now GBRS, your company, are the guys that train people up to go do this stuff. If at consuming your materials, contracting you guys at GBRS to really just train me up to go to full-on war, if that's 100, just watching a crapload of Hollywood movies on rerun about combat gets me to a 90-something, maybe?
I'd say more like a 45 to 50%. It gets you almost there because it'll build in that motivation to train more. And then if you actually give them the tools to train, because a lot of it, if you take it out of context, say you grew up in a literal bubble, like you grew up in a laboratory, no external stimulus whatsoever, and then I train you for combat, you have nothing to gauge it off of. But if you watch this and complement it with actual training, now you get to see in real life what it kind of could look like. It gives you some thoughts, some theories to kind of bounce off each other.
It's the motivation component.
For me, I find it's motivation.
Which is so important.
Yeah, the selfless act of running in there, trying to be the good guy, trying to, fight off evil and all that. It does help. And I think a lot of people, they believe it's all going to work. And if they've never actually had the tactical component, they watch that shit and they think they can actually do it and they think it'll work in real life. That's some of the stuff we kind of counter at work.
And so at work, you end up reeling people back in and telling them, actually, you just got shot 5 times doing that.
Yeah. Or we'll look at it and go, right now you're playing paintball. You can't play paintball.
Shit.
Right now, like you've been shot 3 times in your right leg. Like,
those aren't damage points in a video game. You just don't have a right leg anymore.
Then we talk to them like, what do you think that really looks like? That's you out for at least 12 months, if not 18 months.
If you get evac'd, you could just be shot dead the next shot.
Exactly. It's like, well, how's the team recover from that? Now their confidence is down. One of their number 1 dudes just got shot 3 times. Now you're out for 18 months. Can you make a full recovery? Mental scar tissue lasts a lot longer than physical scar tissue. It's gonna be a very hard injury to come back from, especially if you've been burning negative reps, playing paintball this whole fucking time, thinking you're invincible because you have a badge or a fucking beret or some fancy pin on. It's not like that in reality. Like you have to play it like it's the most dangerous game in the world. That's a lot of stuff, the mindset components we talk about. Like you got to play it like it's real. And if you take that room, like there's a bad guy with a gun in it, how would you really take it?
Right.
And then we start from there.
More cautiously than Blade does.
Yeah, man. You don't be running there like that. Would you really do that? No.
I mean, I would, but all I've seen is Hollywood. I've never been trained properly.
I'll hook you up.
Folks, if you want to be hooked up with proper training, real shit, GBRS, DJ Shipley, These are the guys you have to hook up with. It's awesome stuff. DJ, where can people find you if they want to learn actual things that Hollywood can't possibly teach us?
All the social channels. Check us out. Got a Patreon channel, YouTube, Instagram, all those mediums. Yeah, GBRS Group and GBRSGroupGear.com.
I love it. We'll link all that stuff in the description. And folks, we'll see you next time. All right. That was really fun. I had fun. I don't know if DJ had fun, but he's nice, so he'll probably lie about it. Anyway, this video right here, you want to click on it because YouTube says it's a good idea. See you guys next time.